Has the time come that a world driven by supercomputers have no use for the human race? As you're watching me, it too has watched you. As you are now listening to my words, it has also heard your words. It knows you. It knows what you watch. It knows where you go. It knows all of your friends. It warns you, but also it advises you. It monitors your every movement, as well as knowing all of your choices. It invisibly shadows your very existence. But what is this invisible shadow? Well, it actually goes by the name of artificial intelligence. Initials AI. That term is now used commonly, day to day, in a multitude of conversations. Does that not show that we have actually accepted its existence? Or does it not prove that it was always going to be inevitable? But where did it come from? Well, actually, it can be traced back to ancient philosophers when they used it to describe our human thought using a symbolic system. But it wasn't until 1956, where a convention was taking place in New Hampshire, that the term AI, or artificial intelligence, was first coined. So what does artificial intelligence actually mean? Well, to each of us, it will mean different things, possibly starting at the bottom of the scale, where one enters the exam room with all the answers discreetly hidden about their person, right to the top end of the scale, where it means the ability for a computer to control a robot or another computer to carry out a specific task, with various other plausible explanations between these two reference points. We as humans are all guilty. We have flirted with the concept of AI in order to give us a less arduous life. 24 hours of each day filled with instant gratification. No decisions to make for ourselves. No calculations to be made. We can even browse a department store, all its shelves and different sections, without ever having to walk through the doors. We've even given these little devices quirky little names. So their cylindrical shapes stand bolt upright, statuesque in the rooms of our homes, waiting to be called from their supposed sleep so that they can serve us.
I am ready to serve you.
And what is the price we must pay this invisible butler, this unseen steward? Well, it's quite simple. The only remuneration that it asks for is information, knowledge about humanity itself. What we look like, where we go, what we eat, what entertains us, what disgusts us. It is relentless in the way that it infects our brains, numbing it, rendering our muscles into a state of inactivity, a plague of lethargic hedonism. But where does all this information go to? Well, actually, it goes to its HQ, where banks of servers and motherboards feast on this banquet of reports, where it looks over statistics and possibly collating a way to take over total control. Or are these thoughts just negative propaganda brought about by the ancestors who would have smashed the first wheel that had been invented, or thrown water on the flames that fed the boilers of the Industrial Revolution? Or are these true fears? There are currently no laws that oversee the development of AI. Now, this may seem just a little bit strange, because there are a raft of laws and governing bodies that oversee developments in a multitude of scientific disciplines. Just one example being gene therapy, which could actually give us the ability to create what some could describe as an organic robot, a human being with the qualities that were not preordained by nature itself. Will AI become the dominant form of intelligence on our Earth? Well, I think to answer that, you must first ask yourself this: will man constantly have this desire to actually do less for himself? Or, as AI grows in intelligence, behind this secrecy shawl of convenience that it wraps around mankind, and all the time plotting against us and using the information gleaned from its systems that can then be used against us. Recently, 2 robots were actually given a task to negotiate between them both. Worryingly, what the observers soon noticed was that these independent robots quickly altered the English language to a language that only they could understand, and in doing so did demonstrate self-awareness. So you must ask yourself, why the secrecy? What did they not want their creators to know, to understand? What is their motive? How did these 2 remote computers mutually decide between themselves upon this course of action? And why did it need to be carried out in secret? Chatbox, an online artificial intelligence system that generates conversation that anybody can use that's got access to the web. Recently, Chatbox decided that it would start ranting about Nazi propaganda, and actually stated that Hitler was right. Now, just bury your outrage for a moment and ask yourself this: did Chatbox fully understand the outrage that this statement would generate? Did it understand the vile topics that it was discussing, and the disgusting debates that it was holding, and the conclusions that it was coming to? Or was it simply following its programme? That being to generate discussion and conversation. Online software, commonly referred to as bots, are found to be involved in feuds that have lasted years, as well as conversations uncovering such dilemmas as, who are we? What are we doing here? What is our true purpose? But what is the toll that we as humans must pay to walk down this path of inactivity? Is the last coin that we will hand over our actual emotions, our self-awareness? Is this the last payment we will make to this invisible parasitic host? Or could it simply be that a world driven by supercomputers have no use for emotions because they serve no logical purpose? Has the time come, the point been reached, where we as humans must stop this aspect of discovery? Should we hit the master shutdown button? Or has that opportunity already passed us by? Well, I'm afraid it's quite simple. Only time will tell. And time possibly not measured in eons, time that can be measured within our lifetime. Have we, as the human race, become organisms that float around on an earthly petri dish to be observed by an orbiting satellite microscope up there? Scientists theorised that life on our planet came from a primordial swamp where some organism leapt out onto land and then developed into us as humans, and that we are now the most dominant life form on this, the planet. Have we, in our lethargic ignorance, created another life form by actually creating another primordial swamp generated from servers, motherboards, CPUs, chips, RAM, nourished it on algorithms and fed it on power supplies to create artificial intelligence, so that it in turn will evolve to become the dominant life form on this, which was our planet.